Right.
Right.
We must do this more professionally one day.
We should start it before and then click the go button. But,
Yeah, that's probably an idea.
Yeah.
but then the problem is where you've only got one monitor, it's impossible. But yes.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear us? That'll be the next thing. Can you actually
Hello,
physically
testing,
hear us?
testing.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Anybody there but us?
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Good. That's all right then.
Yeah, you can hear on my channel because I've just heard myself talking. Right, I'm gonna try not to look down this week and just like have my phone there just in case. Hopefully you don't get any feedback noise.
Apparently all clear on mine.
Okay, wicked. Right.
Good.
Anything on mine? It's fine.
Good evening.
That's all right.
And welcome to the Plastic Crack podcast, episode 30. 30 weeks, gentlemen. 30 weeks. What a milestone.
Crikey,
wow,
O'Reilly.
So we've been doing this longer than half a year. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And every week we get people tuning in to watch us do some hobby. And it's lovely to have you with us. So, first things this week, what we've been working on. Let's start with Steve.
Winter Germans. Still yeah. Nothing's ever going to change on that front. No, just been repainting, using the old weathering pigments again on these guys. They're looking. I'm really happy with how they've turned out so far, and I'm really quite close to finishing. The flame, the kit bashed flame, so that I built and painted on the stream last week. I did a video about that late last week. It was one of my favourite kit bashes. It was a really, really nice little build to work on. Not much time, not really went into it, but yeah, very, very happy with it. But that was it. That's all I worked on last week was Winter German. So again, nothing really straying from the normal for me.
No, wicked. But still, you're getting some hobby done, Steve, and that's the important thing.
Yes, that's the main thing.
What about you, Martin?
Surprise, surprise, I've been doing more Carthaginians, but I was getting my basing sorted out. So I've now finished 3 units, and I'm painting an elephant at the minute to try and that'll be over half done. So I've just been focusing on that. But I suddenly realised, I had one of those moments where I suddenly realised that once I stuck it all down and based it, that I'd done far more than I thought I had.
Yeah.
It's just that the unit I chose to pick first was probably the most fiddly to paint, whereas all the other, like the skirmishers, were easy. I knocked those out in just in an hour. It was great, but yeah, sorting out the basing, trying some new snow products, which as well is.
A bit of that Colombian special, was it?
Carried away with no.
I've never been so obsessed with one thing, and I don't know what it was. The other ones was like, no, not how I want it to look, not how I want it to look. But the problem is now is that all over my painting desk there's these little gritty bits, and so if I move my hand across it, you won't be able to hear it. So I'm moving my mouse now; it would just hear this gritty scratching noise.
I know precisely where you're coming from, my friend. You don't want to know what I've just done.
Martin, do you know what's really good for removing that?
Go on.
A credit card and a rolled up £5 note.
I'm gonna you see me go a little bit funny later on. If you see what everything, they're referring to my extra special bag of basing product, which has come sealed from.
So for the viewers, this has been the constant source of hilarity for us four for the last week or so. Martin, I think, has been obsessed, like a man I've never known to be obsessed about anything as much, by snow. And he's been putting stuff in we have a chat, and we chat away all week about things. And he's just been obsessed with it. And we've been taking the pee out of him somewhat. It's been incessant.
It's been incessant. But hang on, let me reach over. It's all been worth it, in my opinion. Anyway, you want to see? There we go. I don't know how well that's going to come out. There we go. I'm sure
That looks really good.
it was worth all the hype. I sat there doing, I bothered painting this rock and now I've covered it in snow. Like, why did I do that?
Because you know deep down that it's going to be all right.
Deep down, I know that underneath that there's a properly toned stone facing in there.
Exactly. If you ever drop it and chip it, you know that it'll be fine.
I'll tell you what though, that snow wash, the wash that they've got, that's wicked for vehicles. That stuff there.
I like that.
Where you can just
really cool.
you pin wash around all of your joints, and then on the actual panelling just here, you just paint it on and it comes up like frost. Yeah. So that I was quite impressed with. Really? Makes me want to do finish.
And what was that? Oh, don't. Oh shit, that's a great idea. What's the price of that, Martin?
The kit I got was £25. But it
on some snow.
No, yeah, but the thing is, if you buy like say the Luke APS stuff, that's £8, and then you pay postage on top of that. I got the same amount of snow plus that snow wash plus this stuff, Insta Snow paste, which I think is used more for scale modelling, and a load of the adhesive.
Special paste.
Yeah, yes, it's a special. You can coat it on your food, and then you can cook it.
And don't forget, he got it in a lovely bag.
Yeah, I got my lovely little
Yeah, to be fair, that bag was actually pretty.
Yeah, my lovely little tote. My lovely little I don't even know what you call this. What is this? Is this a tote bag? I don't know. Is this a tote bag? What is this?
It's a backpack. Isn't it?
This thing, is it a backpack? How small my daughter would have to wear this? Look.
That's all right.
She moves the product around. Yeah.
Mate, they're going to call you into that school if you're not careful.
I'm fully expecting to get called in anyway, to be fair.
My daddy gives me white powder to move me around.
I was clearing up daddy's snow powder.
Fake snow product and rotting Christ. That's going to be an interesting parents' evening, isn't it?
Move on to someone else. Move on to someone else.
Well, Leslie says in the chat, it says really good basing, so well done.
That's it. You can buy all those bits individually as well. You don't have to spend like a £25 pack. I just thought I'd get it all and see what the fuss was about.
You're like me like that. But
oh god.
But yeah, let's move on to old Dom. I just want to say congratulations
on your
1,000 subscribers, Dom.
Yay!
You
cheers.
made it.
I've joined the big boys club.
You're in the big boys club. You've unlocked. If you notice, you already got like because I tagged you in my video because you can tag you in it now because you've got 1,000 subscribers. So you're tagged in that video.
I bet you're really excited about that.
You know, I said last time he called me out for something, I lost about 5 subscribers, so that's really good. For God's sake. But no, thank you very much. I'm very pleased to hit that, and yeah, it seemed like forever to get there in the end, but it's not been that long really. So
no,
I'll drink to that.
Yes. What you've been painting then?
Yeah.
You've been banging out the videos left, right, and centre, haven't you?
I have. I've been catching up for my holiday stuff, so it's been good. The best thing I've done, I've finished just tonight basing up the last the Lancers for my Kleberg force, and I have to say they are genuinely the nicest models I think I've painted, and probably my most. I'm the happiest I've ever been painting figures with.
Yeah.
I think they're just absolutely.
Were they the pink ones, mate?
The pink ones, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't do full pink at the end because I was showing you those. So there were 2 options with the unit. So they started. Well, in fact, I think they had 3 different uniforms during their sort of lifetime, if you like, as a regiment. But the one the one I'd sort of in my mind I was going to do was all white with a pink bib and pink hat, shako. And but in the end, the 1812 period, which is what I was doing the division from, they were wearing green, a dark green, and then pink, and so I picked for that in the end, and it does look absolutely.
They look lovely.
They did look. They look really striking. Actually, they really did.
They stand out just enough that you think, wow, that's going to stand out on the table without being crikey. That's Mary Poppins.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing them Friday. That's what I look forward to. Look forward to dying to them Friday as well.
It's good, yeah. I'm gonna have fun with them. Trouble is, I think the only problem is my next game, which is actually Tuesday tomorrow. I'm going to play in the Brits, so I'm not going to take them along for letting Jonathan play with them because I'm not going to first outing. I don't. Want
no, you can't do that.
No, exactly. So.
No.
So no, I'm really pleased with that. And I also got a bit of artillery done. Thanks to Martin, I did a rocket battery. Rocket gun.
Yeah, no.
For the British.
Looking forward to just shooting your own men, are you?
Yeah. I'm deliberately taking Hanoverian troops just to shoot them in the back, like you did.
Get some going.
So I just love the idea. It looks really cool.
They are fun.
Lovely figure.
That is a cool model, isn't it? It is a really cool
model. I think it's one of Warlord's best, to be honest.
Yeah. I was thinking about kit bashing one. But when I go to do it in the end, but that model is very nice. But it tells like a story, doesn't it? That model, I know it's like they capture the moment perfectly, don't they?
Yeah.
You can just imagine it on the battlefield. Yeah. It's a really good model.
Well, I was really surprised because I thought because it's got the guy up the ladder, sort of reaching back to pull the rocket up, and the guy's supposed to feed it up, and I thought this is going to be a real ball ache to get this to fit together and just get it in the right. And it wasn't at all. It just.
It looks like it should be hard. It looks like it should be really awkward. And then that's what annoys me though, is like that was I found that was really nice, easy to put together. Everything fitted. And then you'll just go to put something together like, I don't know, just a head onto a normal blaze that you can't get it to fit or the arms don't.
I know. Go figure it. And it's bizarre, isn't it, like that? But yeah, really, really easy. Although the worst thing I had was then the rocket itself was bent. So those metal are really.
You can't straighten it, can you?
No.
So, sometimes it's worth using a rod, isn't it? Sometimes it's worth using a rod, cutting it off, using a rod, and doing it like that. But
that's effort. That's effort.
And you shouldn't have to because you pay for the mini.
Exactly, but it is a nice model. And I also did my October War Games Anonymous challenge, which I did an English Civil War cannon for. So you'll see that at the weekend probably.
I did see the picture actually on Discord. Very nice.
Again, I was really proud of that one. That was a really nice figure. So yeah, all good. Really good week actually. I haven't done any infantry. I need to do some more infantry. And tonight I'm doing some guns. I've got some Victrix French artillery.
More guns.
Which are not going to be French. Yeah. Well, I realised I played a game of Black Parabird last week, and I realised I didn't have enough artillery, and I didn't have enough black powder based infantry. So it's like, oh shit, I'm going to
get on with it. Yeah.
Ken, you'd hate what I'm painting tonight.
What's that, mate?
It's a HQ. It's a HQ unit all based on one base.
I don't know, actually. I quite like that for bolt action. That's not too bad. I don't mind for certain things. I'm starting to come around to your ideas, Steve.
Wow. What, even basing tanks?
Nah, fuck
no, that's never gonna happen.
That's a step too far, Steve. Boys always on the wind up in you with that. But
so like a few people in the chat while you're winding each other up. We've got Leslie, Lupus, Saya, Battle Knights. Good evening, Battle Knights. He said, "What's everyone been doing this weekend?" Well, how was everyone's weekend? It was good for mine. Mine was really good. Enjoyed it. Duncan FX, I am 8. Benjamin, hello. Haven't seen you before. Welcome aboard the Madhouse. Leslie said it will be into confinement soon. Make the best of your opportunities in the game. Oh, don't be such a doom monger. For goodness sake. Leslie, you're worse than my wife. She says the same thing all the time. Can there be a lockdown? Can there be a lockdown? Well, we'll just drink ourselves insensible. Why not?
Got a few people to say hello to, if that's all right.
Yeah, do you say hello?
We've got.
I didn't even get to go what I was doing this week.
That's because we know what it's going to be.
Yeah, you've done a video on it, mate.
We saw it.
Maybe you've got a secret.
Go on then. What have you been doing? Come on.
John, what
I've
did
been
you
paying
think?
French.
Is it something Right, moving on.
I'm literally about to finish this light company, the 9th. So they're literally about to get finished. I'm just putting the wash on, and then they're getting super glued to the base, and they're done. So I'm proud of that. So that'll be 4 battalions plus a troop of cavalry. But I need to do some guns. But if I'm going to do them, I'm going to do like 4 guns, because I don't want to be like you lot, because I've heard that a lot from people. Is they do 1 cannon and then they realise they don't have enough. So I want to just do 4. So I've got 4. That makes sense.
Hey.
Or 4 cannons.
Okay. What do you mean?
So then I've got loads of cannons, so I don't need to.
So you got 2. So you've got like 2. So you got 2 batteries of cannons. You mean? If you're going to play, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking of doing 4 batteries of cannon, but.
So that would be 8 cannons. Yeah.
That'd be a bit expensive.
That's if you're doing a battery of 2. Yeah. So, but.
Yeah.
Okay. Bill Roy says hello. Ewan and Aaron Lowe. Robin Louis. Well Hungington. He wants to know what's that's crawling on the wall. He says, "What's that crawling on the wall behind you?" I don't know if he means me or someone else. I'm a bit nervous now. Miller Culloden, hello. Damjan's here.
Chaps.
Battle Knights. So we got Leslie, of course, and Grand Prix Go. There we go. And now he's just said Major Look. That's just childish.
Very good.
Very good.
I've got Steve Reese, hello Steve, and I have Mark Wright saying hello as well. Steve's put here, see you really getting into 6 mil. What did I tell you a while back? It's addictive. I completely forgot I ordered that army. I did a Martin. I forgot. I completely forgot.
What do you mean you did a Martin?
Turn up.
What's that mean?
Random boxes turning up and not knowing what's in them.
Oh.
Yeah, that.
Like Pablo Escobar's. Yeah.
Brilliant.
He can't. But I generally forgot. I was like, what the freaking hell is this? Because I come in, I was expecting these casualties, right? Because they were from your subscribers, Steve. I was expecting them.
Yeah.
But I was like, why is there a box here? And I just generally could not think. I thought I've ordered a graphics card and I've ordered a terrain mat, and I'm thinking to myself, if a terrain mat fits in that box, I'm going to be extremely pissed off. It was pretty small, and I was like, nah, it can't be that, and I just completely forgot. But I bought it off one of the Facebook groups. So, like you do, you just PayPal them the money, and then you forget about it, and it turned up. I was like, oh.
I remember disposable income before I had kids. I remember that.
It's a lovely thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember that.
20 years are the worst, mate. It's fine.
All right, cool. All right. If we're still doing this in 20 years' time, I'll have a little celebration. Yes.
We will. But I'll tell you some random news. Actually, I'm going to be looking at some moving house probably early in the next year. So the Ken studio is going to be a real thing, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Where are you going?
Not far.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
What you need in terms of space for a table and everything.
Yep, it's been agreed.
When you say agreed,
plenty of wardrobe space for your wardrobe space for your onesies and your
collection of hoodies.
No, because the agreement is like garden. I can put up like a man shed, and have it.
How is that different to a normal shed?
Because it's going to be massive. It's going to be about 30 foot square. It's going to be huge. So I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. And it's going to be heated, insulated. Oh, it's going to be so good.
I'll look forward to coming down and staying in it.
Yeah,
staying in the west wing of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Damjan's just asked, have we got a Discord, and drop a link. The Discord we're going on about is the Wargamers Anonymous one, which I know some other people in the chat are in. So I don't know if someone can drop a link down there, but that's where you can vote on monthly challenges. Phil from Wargamers Anonymous runs it, but it's open to pretty much anyone to join, I think. I don't think there's any kind of vetting process. Ken's in it.
Yeah, exactly. Ken's in it. Fine.
Oh, speaking of that, I had a good chat with Paul Beckus and Paul, but I've forgotten his last
Richardson.
name. Richardson, that's
Paul
it.
Richardson.
That's it. Had a very good chat with those two gentlemen. What day was it?
Was it Saturday? I did see you Saturday, Sunday. I saw you were on, but I couldn't join, unfortunately.
Yeah, Saturday or Sunday. Had a nice chat for probably about a good hour, I think it was in the end. And yeah, it was nice actually speaking to fellow war gamers, especially Paul Beckus being over in Australia. You don't, very rarely get to catch him online, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Time zones.
Maybe he just sees you log on and then he logs off. Sorry, I'll lay off you now. It's just I've had a whole week of Colombian snow powder jokes.
Oh, I love it.
You should have bought it from Pablo, should you?
I really wish his name was Pablo. I think his name was like Ethan or something.
I tell you what, I've got a very. If anyone looks at my image searches on my phone, yeah, I might be on some kind of special watch list after this week.
Oh yes, all of yes.
All the images you were posting, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Reiterate what those images are for the audience, Steve.
Well, broadly, just sort of snow-related Colombian pastimes.
Yeah.
What's this podcast called, by the way?
This podcast,
The
Plastic Crack Podcast.
Okay, just wondering.
Should have christened it Snow Crack. There you go. Right.
Yeah.
I think we should move this on rather rapidly.
Yeah, we've been lingering.
Graham Fennell in the house. Hiya, mate. How you doing? Yeah, we're all at it. Benjamin who just came on. His first time he's been on tonight. He was saying he's coming for some inspiration for Black Powder. Yeah. Okay. Probably not those two on that end. That's for sure.
Hey?
Inspiration on Black Powder. Come on. What would you do? How would you start with Black Powder? You were getting a complete novice.
What army do you want? What army do you want to be?
Do you have any idea of what army you want to do, or are you just wanting to get into it? Because if you've got a period in mind, if you want to do ACW, I imagine that a good place to start is that Perry box set, the one with both sides, or are you just looking on getting one force? That would be the first thing, because the Black Powder covers a good 300-year period, so.
Yeah, you're talking Black Powder. Answer the questions, and we'll just answer them throughout the whole show. So just ask. Anyone's got any questions, you just ask them, and we will answer them. So
don't get French drummers.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with French drummers. I've painted one. They're fine. They're fine. If you're not fussy.
I hate them.
It's just French you have to avoid. That's all. Just French.
Fucking hell, there's nothing. If you want quick models to paint, you got a couple of choices. You got the French in greatcoats, or you got Martin's Prussians. They're pretty quick, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Prussians are quick. What's the ones with B? Brunswickers. They're quick, aren't they? They're all black, aren't they?
No. Do you?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Are all black.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all black.
You don't want to paint them black because otherwise they'd look too black.
Yeah, you want like a charcoal grey, but it depends what period you want to do, and then we'll go from there.
He's just said he's got troops coming in the post, so he's looking for inspiration. So we'll see.
Oh, right.
See if he comes back. But Benjamin, let us know if there's anything we can help with.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah.
You all launched into that, you see. Apparently, Battle Knight says there's free sprue of US Marines in next month's War Games Illustrated.
They'll be on that.
If you're looking, that'd be interesting. Be a good thing. Yeah. And Leslie's picking out Beckus's video the other day about having the all clear from cancer, which was fantastic.
Yeah,
news.
great news.
Brilliant.
Great
news.
Really, really good news. I know we piss around a lot, but that's serious shit.
That is good.
That's really good news. Hey ho, right. What are we going to talk about tonight then?
Has anyone got any questions?
Yeah. Have you got any questions? Have you had any sent in?
I had one question sent in, but I'm going to ask the question that we never got round to last week because it got to be derailed. And it's a similar theme, but it was well, I think it's a similar theme anyway. So my question was: do you have to be into history to be into wargaming? Is it a prerequisite? What do you reckon?
Who wants to go first?
I'll do it. I'll give a short answer. I'll let someone else do a long one. I think they work together, both side by side. I can't understand how you'd wargame and not like history. I'd find that very strange if someone told me that. Unless it was fantasy. That would be the only. If it's historical, then history, yes. If it's anything else but historical, then no, you might not like history. So there's mine.
No, I'm gonna echo what Ken said. For me, doing historical gaming, I have an interest in the subject anyway. So if you had no interest, how would you immerse yourself in your projects? How would you learn the backgrounds to the armies you work on? If you were just painting for the sake of, just getting stuff on the table and having no background to it, I just think you'd be doing yourself a disservice. I think you'd be cutting out sort of what for me is one of the main aspects of the hobby, which is the background, the research, the history. So, I mean, it's probably possible to be a gamer and not have an interest in history, but you're really going to limit yourself when it comes to the sort of the background, the fluff aspect of stuff. So, my answer would be yes, you can, but you probably shouldn't.
Right. I tend to agree. I mean, to me, so playing devil's advocate, I think there are plenty of people, and we all known them, I guess, through the years, who are gamers. They like gaming, and they'll play a system, and they'll play to maximize it and blow the history. Doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. I'll have 50,000 bamboo warriors in my Japanese army because they're the most efficient and they're cheap and they'll win every time, kind of scenario, and bugger the history. And then you get the ones that are completely all over the history and that's all they care about, to the other extreme. Somewhere in the middle is most war gamers, I think. And to me, I think I agree with you, Stu. I think you're missing something if you aren't enjoying history. If you don't enjoy history along.
Yeah.
Leslie is right with that, because I have met someone at a car boot sale before, and all he does is he paints figures, but then he paints Warhammer, but then with the money he sells them at the car boot sale, all he does is go and buy more Warhammer and just paints it and just keeps repeating and never keeps any of his miniatures. He just likes painting it.
Yeah.
Don't even like keeping it, which I found even more fascinating. He sells
it.
Yeah, he just sells it on. He just paints it and sells it.
Wow.
So he doesn't.
That is bizarre.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. He doesn't even keep it. That's what I mean. He goes to the car boot sale on a Sunday, and he sells his stuff, and then he just buys more stuff with it. Because people obviously, he doesn't sell it cheap. He sells it enough to be able to buy, the set back, another set or something that he wants. Because people pay half decent money for painting figures, but it's interesting.
Yeah. I think for me the answer is no, but it helps. Because I've played against people who are avid board gamers, and they just like playing games, any game, and they love it when I set up a Black Powder game, and they know nothing.
Well, Hayley's primed for it, isn't she? She's not. I gather Hayley's not a massive history buff. She
likes history, but she's not particularly into that period of history. Ultimately, I think it's like anything, isn't it? To get the maximum out. I mean, I know people who are into history who don't like wargaming. So who like military history who aren't into wargaming. But
I think an example of this was because I mean over the past 6-7 weeks, I've heard you guys talk about Wars of the Roses.
Yeah.
And different kings and different earls and nobles, and I'll be honest, I didn't have a clue because it's not a period of history I've ever really looked into. So last week, it was last Tuesday, I watched that documentary series on YouTube, and I sat down there and I sat for 3 hours and watched these 4 episodes. and instantly I know a lot more now, and it all makes sense. I know the lineage of the different monarchs. I know who was involved. It was, I think, just taking some time out like that. Yeah, just taking some time out like that. Well, I just wanted somewhere to start, so I at least knew who these people were.
Who was on whose side?
Exactly. And to be fair, that series was absolutely tremendous. Like when we were chatting about it in the chat, Martin said it cuts through a lot of the guff, and it just gave you the information that you really needed.
If you're looking for like a, I guess key points, who, it doesn't go into all the intricacies of who changed, like all the minor nobles you change size and all of like these other things. It's just ultimately these are your key points. Go.
That's what you need to know. Yeah.
And that's what it fulfilled, definitely. And I watched all 4 episodes and I thought, my God, just in sitting down, a couple of cups of coffee, and 4 episodes. I know so much more than I did. I know so much more than I did 3 hours ago. So for me, and I'll be honest, it did make me want to start a War of the Roses army, but I'm not going to.
Why? Do it. Do it. No, I don't know anyone who's doing the Stanleys. There you go. They played on both sides. So if you get the Stanleys, you can be Lancastrian and Yorkist.
Come on, Steve.
So it was. I would say it's also really dangerous watching documentaries because you get so much inspiration from seeing the history.
Yeah.
Like, oh, how could I get that onto the tabletop? So, yeah, I might say you can do it, but you're missing out on a bit.
I think. Yeah, I mean, I personally don't understand people who don't like history. I can't quite get my head around it. That's just me personally. I don't, I talk to people who say, no, I just find it really boring. And I assume most of the time that it's school that's killed it for them. Or that's how I kind of make sense of it in my head. But with wargaming, I can kind of see how some people don't like painting or doing things like that. They just like playing the game. And I think they just like playing any game when there's figures on a table. They don't really mind what. I haven't met a lot of these people. But... there are a few of them. Yeah.
There definitely are. I mean, there's quite a few people I think who just, they love gaming. Gaming is it. Doesn't matter, as you say. It could be Star Wars. It could be biblical wars. It could be Second World War. It doesn't matter to them. It's a game, and they'll try and maximize. Well, they'll try and play it because they enjoy the game. Now, do they lose a lot out of the game? I think we'd all agree they do.
Yeah.
But do they really? Are we just biased that way because we're into the history? I mean, you can still have a good. I mean, at the end of the day, what do you enjoy of a night gaming, right, or a day's gaming? You enjoy, for me, I love the banter and having a laugh and bit of rolling some dice and moving the figures around and having the atmosphere of the whole game and everything else. As the fact most games I play are fictitious. They're not, they're based on a period, but they're not a reenactment of the game. So, being devil's advocate, does it really matter? It could be it could be hairbrushes being moved around. It could be blocks of wood being moved around. It could be, models in.
I do like seeing everyone get stroppy when I roll really well.
I like getting stroppy and then beating you. That was what I liked.
I think ultimately with gaming, you take from it what you want. I mean, if you just want to get some figures on the tabletop, throw some dice around, and have a game, you do it. Yeah, and you can pack your things up and go home, and that's it. So I think you get what you put into it, essentially.
But then I think we can see those because there are people, and I know there's some people who just don't enjoy painting and they love the game because you just see down the club, and the one here, you see like just hordes of unpainted plastic. Now, personally, I can't cope with that, but some people it doesn't matter to them at all and they just want to play.
Yeah. It used to not matter to me, but it does now. I can't play with an unpainted model.
I couldn't do it.
Leslie's just commented on my stream, said, but do the Stanleys keep their heads? which was just a comment back about Steve.
I fucking doubt it. It's War of the Roses, so no.
Well, actually, the main one does. The main one does, but the one who led the charge and basically turned on Richard, he was executed 2 years later by Henry VII. So after he basically secured victory for Henry, he got executed by him when he then supported one of the Yorkist so-called pretenders that turned up. Or was he a pretender? Who knows? There we go.
Ooh.
There's
like I said, my overall takeaway from that documentary was that dispute resolution was a big axe. That pretty much was the way you went at solving problems back in those days. It was to chop someone's head off.
But did you see why Edward is just he's just awesome as a king? He just doesn't really care. Which I know makes him actually quite a crap king, but I think he's one of the only English kings who's not been defeated in a battle he actually took command in. I don't think he wasn't. He was never defeated. Everyone around him was, which didn't help. But no, those are good documentaries.
Warwick is that who Warwick made king then? Is that what he's
he made? Yeah, he made him king. Then when Edward didn't marry who Warwick wanted him to, as Steve said, the way the guy puts it in the documentary is Edward basically marries a chav. Because Warwick basically wants to be the power behind the throne, he then rebels and puts the old king back on the throne, and Edward gets kicked off the throne for a year. Then Edward comes back and just says, "No, I've got no interest in being king. Me and my army, we're just going to York, and I'm just going to be Duke of York again." Of course, he goes up to York, raises an army, smashes Warwick to pieces, and then smashes the old king's army, and then decides that his because beforehand he'd been quite forgiving to everybody who had vaguely, I say quite forgiving, by the terms of the Wars of the Roses, he'd been quite forgiving. He'd forgiven like a lot of the people who had been instrumental in his father's fall from power. When he came back the second time, he just executed everybody because it was easier.
Lovely.
But yeah, that's why he's called the Kingmaker.
I just got the idea that Warwick was a bit needy. He was a bit, I don't know.
I'm gonna go see his castle, mate.
Yeah.
Was he overcompensated? No, I just got because he was a bit miffed that he was no longer the king's right hand man. He just went a bit, I don't know.
Yeah.
Needy, a bit.
What they don't, something in that, the Warwick family, the Nevilles were in so many of the major households because he was Edward's cousin, and he was also related to the Beaufort, so he's related to the Lancastrian side as well. He'd managed to. They're basically the Lannisters from Game of Thrones. They had the money, and he was basically considered the power behind the throne. He probably would have done. If it meant.
But he really, I mean, and basically he just wanted to be in charge of everything, didn't he?
He wanted to be, but not the actual king.
No, he never wanted to be king himself, but he wanted to be in charge of man. I mean, in a way, he was quite shrewd because all those kind of people that tried to be king, even if they were successful, they didn't last very long, and they ended up getting their head chopped off. Whereas Warwick carried on for quite a few years, causing mayhem and pushing one candidate forward and then promoting another one.
He had a great He had a great tactic that he did twice, which was when he didn't like what someone was doing, he'd instigate a rebellion somewhere with one of his men, and we know it was one of his men because there's records now that where this guy basically they found some papers on him that basically said Warwick told me to do it, he would just start this rebellion, and then when the king or whoever trots off to go and fight it, he'd just then take London. It's just, and that's why we joke in our sort of Wars of the Roses games that we're going to use Henry VI as almost like a capture the bag, because that's what he did. He was made king and had power taken away from him so many times, then he was trotted back out again. He's just I saw someone commented before I just said, Henry, I assume you know the way to the tower. We don't need to take you there. You just walk yourself there. You know the way.
Yeah.
The usual room, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, geez.
For you. We knew you'd be back.
Fifth floor, please. I wouldn't mind not being stuck next to the privy this time. Yes.
Don't worry, he didn't make it out the last time.
Those are great examples, though. I think where history does add so much to what you're doing as a game.
Definitely.
You know, I know.
Yeah.
People don't feel the same, and I do honestly. I've talked about this before on the stream that I think the way kids are taught history these days is not about military history as such, or even the wars generally. It's about social history, and I think they come out of it not really knowing enough about it. So, you know, it goes back to a little bit what we were talking about last week, and I'm not going to rake over old coals on, you know, button colours and all that, but it's kind of the fact that if you're a kid coming into the hobby now, you've come via probably Games Workshop or some kind of sci-fi kind of angle. You've got very little knowledge of history itself, but you enjoy the game. So kind of, does that matter? I mean, the fact they're coming into the hobby and they'll pick it up as they go along enough, that seems actually quite a good deal to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Martin's not sure.
Stupidly.
No, I think you're right. Sorry, I was just trying to I didn't want to screw this bit up. I think you're right. There is a definite lack of the way that history's taught in schools. I'd say it goes further than just the lack of a military history. I think that there's a real gap in knowledge about medieval stuff that they basically just focus on Tudors. They kind of talk about how the Tudors came to power.
They do.
Everyone loves the Tudors, but the Tudors were horrible. Let's face it, they were horrible people. They were all horrible back then. But like, I wouldn't have wanted to live in Tudor England. You just before in the Wars of the Roses, you just half like to get shot or get your head cut off if you're a noble. In the Tudor period, you didn't. Henry VIII changed his mind about what you're allowed to do so many times. You go to the wrong church, or you go to the wrong church, and you just end up getting executed. Or it's not. But they don't focus, I think, personally, on the right things to get people fired up and interested in history, which is why I don't see a lot of people sort of coming through doing those kind of degrees or those kind of studies now, in my area anyway.
I know when I briefly did before I switched college, I did 3 months of history at college, and it was about the agricultural revolution, and I'll be honest, I'd never been so bored in my life. It just nothing in those lessons. So it just didn't interest me at all. So
I wonder why you quit.
it's. Oh no, I hated where I was, so I quit and went back to my school's old sixth form. I wrote my begging letter saying, "Please, can I come back? I hate it here." And I got me back in.
Jesus, that's nice.
No, I agree. I think that history is. I mean, my kids have not long gone through it and they never did anything interesting. What I consider interesting is history. And I'm
still doing World War One. They're still doing World War One or not?
It was all about civil rights, votes for women. They do. I mean, it was momentous social history, but it wasn't
quite modern in regards to history itself,
really.
Wasn't it? There's no ancient history or anything like that, is there?
Oh no,
Greek mythology and stuff like that.
Nothing like that at all. So it was. I don't know. Just found that to me was a bit. And I do think actually Anthony just came on and he said the same thing. He said some people are a bit intimidated to make the move from sci-fi fantasy to historical. They're worried somebody will yell at them for not painting the history.
Very true.
Accurately.
Very true.
See last week's episode.
That's what we were talking about last week. So we're not going to go down that one entirely. But it is exactly the same point, though, isn't it? I mean, if you've got no understanding, if you've got, you don't know anything about the 100 Days War, and you talk about doing a Napoleonic army, and you're talking about, I want to do this, this, and this, and somebody laughs at you because, that unit was never in that campaign at all, or the Belgians were on the British side, didn't you know, you fool? But of course they wouldn't do if they hadn't had any exposure to that. So it's
no, exactly.
really
No, isn't it? But yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, isn't it? It's one of those.
Ultimately, anything that brings someone over to wargaming is great. I've had, you have people who want to do it because they like Sharp, and Sharp isn't exactly the series isn't exactly the most historically accurate thing. But if they like it and it wants them to play a game, then they should be able to just go. I just want to paint some horrible 95th rifles, for example.
If you're new to this, you'll understand. If you're new, you'll understand Martin's hatred for the 95th rifles due to can't roll for shit.
Speaking of which, Steve, you know that band Forlorn Hope?
Oh.
So Haley said, "Oh, is there anything you want for any bands? Any T-shirts or anything you want?" Like I was like, "Oh, I'll have a look, see if they've got a T-shirt, right?" And they've got an amazing looking T-shirt. And do you know what's on the front of it? A 95th rifle, and it just says "Rifles" under it. And I was just like, "Fuck, bloody hell!" I was like, "Why? Why not?" I looked in their back catalogue. It's like they have an amazing T-shirt of like a Cuirassier charging. I was like, "Why isn't that one available?" I'm not wearing the T-shirt that says "Rifles," and then on the back of it, it's like something that is like it says something like basically in the lines of "Go 95th."
That'd be a very good Christmas
I'd still
present
recommend giving Forlorn Hope a listen to. They're absolutely cracking band. They really are.
They were good fun. I say were. Oh, they're not dead or nothing. I don't know why I said were.
No,
No, they're still about. Right then, gentlemen. So, hobby talk, serious talk.
Oh, no.
Anyone see those Prussian cavalry from Warlord?
Yes.
There's a bit of mixed reactions on the internet. Controversial situation coming up.
What did you think, Ken?
the new horrible resin, aren't they?
They're in the resin, and yeah, I don't really like them.
Did you see it when he compared the models side by side, the same one, and the level of detail that was on one, and then the other one kind of was less detailed, and it's the same mold? You know? I know sometimes you'll get that like sometimes in metals, but I don't know. How much are they? They're more than 20 quid now, aren't they? Are they?
I don't know. In all honesty, it's one of those. I have no idea, mate. To be honest with you, yeah, not
Got to be around the 20 quid mark, haven't they? I would have thought.
Yeah,
I'll have a look.
Yeah, it's got to be, but yeah, not for me, I'm afraid.
No, I was looking forward to them because I thought for my Prussians it'd be quite not really.
I'm going with the metal molds. The metal molds running out, and they need to replace it, but they don't want to do plastic.
It's brand new.
What is?
Yeah, I heard
they're brand new.
I thought.
Oh, it is brand new completely.
Yeah. Because I heard somebody say, was it NI Miniatures was saying that they were planning to convert all their metals into resin.
Yep.
Absolutely everything.
You imagine trying to do that rocket frame.
That would be a bloody nightmare. Well, it means I'm probably not going to be buying much Warlords if that's the case.
No. Yeah. Hello, Perry.
What did everyone think of those plastic partisans I sent the link for?
I was very interested by those, I have to say.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Yeah, that looks very good. Who were they from?
They look rather nice. Atlantic. I forgot.
War Games Atlantic.
Name before because I was going to mention it, and I forgot.
What is War Games Atlantic?
That's the one. There you go.
So sorry, I got it here. They're 24 quid.
Thanks.
24 quid.
That's more expensive than normal cavalry, isn't it?
Yes. Well, and also you can't kit bash because they're you could obviously chop them up, but they're all single cast.
Really? Oh bloody hell! I mean that I don't mind much because I quite like single cast, but yeah, no, definitely not.
Not for you, Dom.
Definitely not. Well, I just think, I think they've got the. I don't really hate it completely, but it's things like you're saying with the rocket battery, the rocket frame is so fiddly. To have that softer plastic would make it really hard to put together. I think the ones I've had of SPQR models, boxed models, the swords are really sort of wobbly.
All right.
And I just no.
I haven't had the pleasure yet, so I'm good, but I'm trying to avoid it.
To be fair, I will give them the thing. The SPQR Bowman, I thought they were quite good. I was alright with the Bowman, the Gallic Bowman, and the Warlord guy. I was quite happy with them, to be fair. But the thing with their resin, you don't have to prime it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but would you not?
Wouldn't you?
Tried it without priming.
We would
yes,
if.
I did try one of them, and it is flex.
Come out like?
Yeah, it was alright.
But now you use contrast paints, don't you? So you would want to prime it anyway.
Yeah, I'd have to prime it. Yeah. They are very flexible in regards to they do bend a bit, and the sword does, It's one of them, innit? It swings and roundabouts. It's
Again, as gaming pieces, they're probably fine.
Yeah.
But that.
I just don't really understand what the benefit is of doing it. Why? I mean, maybe the molds do live longer, but
yeah, cost maybe.
Yeah.
It's going to be costing. It's a business, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Somebody, of course, there must be a cost element somewhere. Somebody's done a cost analysis and worked out that it's cheaper to do it that way. That's for sure. But I can't remember who was it who said. Was it? Can't remember. I can't remember. Somebody did a video and somebody was talking about. I think actually on here about how it was more expensive than the regular metal.
Yes, I think I've seen that as well. Was it NI? Might have been. It might have been. I thought it might be. Maybe it was NI. If anyone knows that video, if they could, I'd actually quite like to watch that again.
Yeah, so it was more expensive, and I don't know if it is. Then there must be some other reason. So maybe the molds last longer. Maybe it's less destructive molds. But yeah, I mean they're a business and they're a shrewd business, so they're clearly doing it for a reason.
Speaking of expensive, I've got a model that I'd like to talk about. I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think. I think I know what the answer to give me. So, I don't know why I picked this up, but the new Age of Sigmar army is giants, which you can now field as giants, right? Just an army. That's how I understand it. And the new giant model from GW is a giant. So it's twice the size of the giants that are already out. So it's entirely plastic. What, Dom, have you seen it? What do you reckon the cost of that would be? A giant that's double the size.
I did see it, and I remember going, "Oh my god!" And it was so high that I can't even remember what it was now.
Steve, what do you think for a giant?
I remember, yeah.
200 quid.
What, made by Games Workshop?
Yeah.
It was over 100 quid, wasn't it?
I don't know. I think I could probably just slam my head into a random number generator and be somewhere accurate to what it might be. I've got no idea.
It's 120, 125 quid.
But then if you go on the site,
go to Mantic.
Yeah.
You can pick up a really nice giant who's about the same size and is actually a better model in some ways for 29 quid or something.
Yeah, and there's variations on it as well, aren't there? You can get like a frost one and that.
Yeah, they're different giant. Hello, my name's Games Workshop in 2020, and I just like putting a premium on my things because of my name. That's what.
Do you know if someone said to me, right there's £129. Go and buy some bolt action stuff. Do you know how much bolt action stuff you could actually get for 129 quid?
You could buy 3 armies. 3 armies.
You could buy 2 or 3 armies, or you could go out and you could buy. I'm not joking. You could probably go and pick up a 3,000 to 4,000 point bolt action army for that.
I thought you were going to say like something actually from World War II.
Well, possibly.
Yeah,
I've actually got a what have I got? I probably derailing the topic, but I years ago I was on eBay. I was in a cutthroat auction for it's an MG42 ammunition box. And I got that for 30 quid because I went in right at the last minute and did a cheeky bid and got it. So, yeah.
It's our song collector.
Culloden says that someone commented on one of his videos on the Spanish Napoleonics that they'd spoken to Warlord and they were told it was more expensive. So,
what are they doing, man?
Oh, yeah.
That's bizarre.
So it's more expensive, and
maybe Warlord are doing that. Yeah, but maybe Warlord are doing that for a reason.
Yeah, money.
Maybe they're saying it's they're saying it's expensive for a reason.
Oh.
Well, unless they're expecting the price of metal to go up significantly, and therefore they're trying to sort of hedge their bets in readiness. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I do. But that's scary. That whole that I think that's actually quite disgraceful. That Sigma giant. I mean, for that price.
That's not the only thing that's disgraceful from GW.
Well, yeah, I know. But you're going to get some kid who's going to be pestering their mum and dad for that.
That's the whole point, isn't it, Dom? That's the whole fucking point, isn't it? That's why they do it. That's exactly why they do it.
Many models to go with it. It's like, oh, for crying out loud.
Yeah. And now you can field them as an army. So you'll want a few of them.
They're not stupid over at Games Workshop. They know how to take your money because that's exactly what they're banking on. They're banking on little Timmy going, I want that for Christmas.
Or little Ken.
Yeah, you give them the Mantic Giant and they throw a temper tantrum because the way of the world nowadays. And yeah,
I've got.
If they go to a show or what have you, or an event, they'll be thrown out if they use the Mantic one rather than the GW one.
I've got images of you sitting under the Christmas tree, Ken, with Laura on Christmas Day. She gives you a box and you open it, and it's that Prussian cavalry, and you just lose it. You just wreck the place.
What the fuck are you doing, Laura? What are you doing?
Love it.
Oh dear. I don't play Prussians, I play French to piss Dom off.
Oh, that was another thing. I sent a picture of the book that's out in January next year. So it's the Anglo-Canadian book for D-Day for bolt action.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, that looks
please
good.
new British models.
But they'll be in that resin.
You what?
They will, but they'll be in that resin.
No. Look, I've been a good little boy this year. All I want is a new plastic British kit. That's all I want. Please, Warlord, make it happen.
I meant to say we after we played our bolt action game, because we had the board set up, we tried out Operation Squad. You know the yeah, we really enjoyed it. A lot more back and forth. I had to think about my tactics in that a lot more. I felt I had to think about it a lot more than I did in bolt action, but I think that's because I felt a lot more under pressure in that, because you're picking your actions and then sort of say 3 of your models, and then you roll initiative to see which order they go in against 3 of your opponents. So your guy might just end up running out into the open and just getting shot before for anyone else. But Ken, you're like this. You can throw grenades in it. And my opponent threw a grenade. I had 2 of my British paras in a church. He threw a grenade in. He wounded one. He killed the other, and he wounded himself in the process.
Yes.
But it's quite interesting because you've got the soldiers have 4 states, so they're fine, shaken, wounded, or dead. And basically, wounded means you can't add. Everyone's got a skill level. So, for example, a normal para's got a skill of 4, so he adds 4 to his dice rolls. Once they're wounded, they don't get to add their skill value, and they always have to move at like half rate until someone takes like a first aid action next to them or something like that. And then if they receive another wounded condition, they're dead. It was good. It was good fun. I think we're going to give it another go. I'm not going to try it with any vehicles or anything yet because that looks quite complicated. But vehicles look like they're actually really powerful in it.
What they're meant to be then.
Which, was that one again?
It's called Operation Squad Evolution.
It's not the 148.
That actually sounds really good. I like the sound of that.
I'll give you an idea. Sorry.
It's that one you were going on about the other week, wasn't it, Martin?
Yeah, but I hadn't had a chance to play it yet, and it played out really well. And we were just playing we thought we'd just learn the rules and just do we did 8 paras and a sergeant against 8 Fallschirmjäger and the equivalent, because they're all basically the same. We didn't give them any extra weapons. They all just had rifles, and we just played through it, and it was quite fun. It's got a bit of the dead man's hand kind of. It's always worth taking a shot because you can do it. You can kill someone at long range with 1 hit, you know, if they pop their head out, kind of thing. So it was worth it. So I enjoyed that. Yeah, I just need to get to grips with it a little bit more. I don't think it will take the place of bolt action for me, because bolt action obviously is a larger scale, company wide, more tanks. But if you wanted to do like a little sort of like, you know, Guns of Navarone kind of thing, that'd be perfect for it.
Oh, what a film! Love that film. But yeah, no, it does sound good, mine. It does sound good.
Yeah.
You can make story up with it as well, can't you? Like missions, going on missions and bits and bobs. Like, definitely.
Yeah, there's an experience system in it.
What's even cooler? It's not expensive either, that rule book. Maybe something we can try out, Dom.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one. I must give it a go.
I think you weren't here for it, was it? I don't think you were here for it, mate. I think you were away on your
sabbatical.
Well, next time you come down here, Ken, we'll give that one a go as well. So do some black powder, give that a go. It was just good. It was just good fun. Nice to play something a bit different with the same models.
Oh, gentlemen, the light company is done.
Oh, sorry. No, nice one.
Out.
Yes.
The drums, don't you mean?
Oh my God! How many men have I done? Jesus Christ! I haven't painted like this for ages. Oh.
You're going to be worn out.
Oh, I know. Just my graphics card better turn up in time.
There we
That's
go.
all I'm going to say.
Oh, King Matt's here now as well. Hello.
Oh, not
Yeah, Matt.
Banded Chips. Matt's here.
GP's
just arrived. Hi, GP. How do you, mate?
You alright? GP. GP? You mean JP?
No, GP.
Oh, it's GP.
Not JP.
GP. Oh, JP, boys, I can't.
His Napoleonic games.
Yeah.
Plug. I don't do any plugs, but JP, we hunt out for his channel because everybody should subscribe. If you like Napoleonics, you've got to watch his games. I mean, he plays General D'Armée usually, and he plays it with his little son on his dining room table, and it is just the most awesome games. His son always trashes him and trash talks him. It's great, but it's just the quality of the figures on the table that he did a refite. Put up a refite the other day, which was early phase of Quatre Bras, and it was just wall-to-wall cavalry, just cavalry everywhere, and it just was the most amazing-looking game. He's only got like 120 subs. He should have 1,000 easily. I mean, he's just so good. Really,
check that out.
Really good games.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh no, I think I had. No, wait a minute. I did watch a General D'Armée game. Might be.
He did. He also did. If you watch that game, somebody put it up. I think on Discord or maybe it was in our chat. I can't remember. But about a samurai game that he put on using pike and shot. I think it was, or black powder, one or the other. Same thing, really. And it was also absolutely awesome. He paints beautifully, absolutely beautifully. Well worth a view. Well worth a view.
Random. Awesome. My Warbases order's just been posted. That was really random at 9 o'clock at night. Crazy.
Leslie, not Leslie's. Peter's little question of the week. Peter's little question this week was bit random, but if you weren't into wargaming, what would be your hobby?
Right.
PC
and make
gaming,
it clean.
Probably.
Don't have anything to do with your Colombian habit. Thank you, Martin.
Mine would be PC gaming. I'm just techie. It's just PC gaming for me, straight up. I'm waiting for a graphics card. Damn fucking Nvidia.
I'm as well as wargaming. I really like gigs and music and films. So I guess it would be probably more about that. I just don't spend as much money on them now because I spend my money on little plastic figures instead and fake snow.
And children. And children.
Children.
Oh right, yeah, my children. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Yes, you do have children. I was going to say, were they your kids, Brian? Or were they
They-
for show?
They are my children. They're eating my food.
Well, there we go. I don't know what
Let's
mine
move
would
on.
be.
Steve, what do you do? What would you do, Steve?
I'd be writing more, and I would probably be playing a lot more guitar than I know I'd do these days.
We'll do it at some point when I've got the time.
There we go.
But between work and family and wargaming, I don't have the time for it. But eventually, I'll do that. I do like computer gaming, but I kind of get bored very easily.
I could spend hours in the game, hours and hours.
Oh.
Hours and hours.
I mean, if I get into a game that I really love, then yes, I would. We used to play. I mean, with my mates, we used to play all sorts of weird games that don't exist anymore. But they were great.
I probably played them.
Possibly, yeah.
Ken, have you played The Division?
Yes, mate.
I've only just started playing now. It's like 4 years old, and there's a second one out. But I was really ill this weekend, so I couldn't be asked painting. So I literally spent the entire weekend on the sofa playing The Division, and I must have put in between 6 or 7 hours a day between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's just ridiculous. What?
Going through the grind. It's a grind, isn't it?
Yes,
game.
Yeah, just totally grinding. I was fed up of getting wiped out by people 3 or 4 levels above me, and having no chance against them. So I've been going around doing random missions and really grinding the levels. But I don't normally play a lot of video. I don't normally play video games to that extent. Normally it's a couple of hours every night. But yeah, properly hammered this weekend.
Loving it.
Really good.
Awesome.
Have you ever encountered any? Oh, sorry, Martin, you're back. You could say what you're going to do. What would you do?
You said. I said, yeah, no, I've been back a while. I was just this.
I mean, have you ever anybody played any decent computer games that are properly like war games?
Yeah, there are a few.
What do you mean? What like war?
What was
Normandy, 1944.
Well, most of the sort of games you play tend to be shoot 'em ups, don't they? So you take a person of a squad on a squad or what have you.
You want to play strategy. You want to play strategy, mate. You want to play strategy games.
Well, the Total War games.
Yeah.
Total War. Oh my god, the amount of hours I've sunk into Total War.
But they're not really like war games, are they?
Do you mean like? Oh, you mean? Yeah, there's games like XCOM games. They're like.
Yeah, XCOM. Yeah.
You want like turn-based. That's what you want.
War Machine. Privateer Press had a game like that.
I used to play a game called Panzers on my old desktop, which was just proper World War II RTS. Really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I used to play that. Again, though, I think you sort of worked out what it was you had to do to win every blinking scenario. Because there was certain formula that if you played that way, you'd always win.
Oh yeah, there was a certain level of rock, scissors, paper to those games.
Yeah, it was. I do remember many years ago, and I can't remember what it was called now, but it was you could actually play a game like a tabletop game. So you sort of build your army. It was done with ancients and medievals, I think, and you could actually sort of form your army based on a point system, and you laid it out like on a table front, and you'd move them, a bit like a tabletop simulator type scenario, and that was really good. But it was, I think, when it never took off because it was such a nichey kind of thing. I wasn't shooting things and killing things in massive ways, but I'd always thought if somebody could do a really clever game where it
simulated
had all that
experience.
Yeah, and there was still that activity in it that would satisfy a power gamer or someone that somebody who likes the explosiveness, so that when I know when the archers fire at the enemy troops, you could zoom in and see the guys being hit by arrows and being wiped out or what have you, or when the bombard fired into the troops, you saw the effect of it bowling down loads of men. That would sort of be quite really cool, but nobody ever seemed to really, not that I was aware of, ever seemed to do anything quite like that.
Huh.
I've got Blood Bowl 2 for the Xbox, but I find that the most infuriating game ever.
Because you don't see what the dice rolls.
Yeah. Call me suspicious, but I don't trust a computer rolling dice for me.
No.
No.
Oh dear, gentlemen, I've decided what I'm going to do next, and it's going to be painful.
What?
I have 4 sprues in front of me here.
Well, you can stick together those British?
No. Oh God.
That's not going to be painful.
Yes, it will. 60 models. Putting 60 models together.
Yeah, but they're just heads and backpacks and arms. They'll be alright.
Singular arms?
Ken,
Why are there singular
Ken,
arms?
can you do something for me on the stream? Will you do something? Will you stick together one of those British Victrix? Now, will you do it, please?
Yeah,
Go on.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. I've got no instructions for them. That's the other thing. I'll get online and get the instructions.
Go on.
They have instructions. That's never a good sign.
Christ. Oh my God, the hand is separate to the rifle.
Go on.
Well done, Ken.
Oh, shiver me timbers.
And then you can do. Then you can put him on a base running away from your old guard or something. You know, there you go.
I love it.
Oh,
Just drops the
my...
Everyone on here just said Total War. Total War, Total War, Total War. Sam B says hi from Colorado. Hello, mate. Right. And
Total War, does it do it? I don't know.
now they're all chatting about Total War,
because you get the best of both worlds.
and we
strategy,
yeah.
Then you get the battle.
I did buy the Britannia one of that, and I really want to play it a bit more, but I found it quite frustrating. Just really quite frustrating because it seemed to be very formulaic. If you didn't do the right thing at the right time, you were screwed.
I have to say, Osmosis just dropped in. He says, "Good morning. I really enjoy your podcast, although I don't normally catch them live as it's 6 a.m. in my part of Australia. So keep up the good work." So hello.
Good
day,
mate. Good.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah. Probably got good day back.
I don't know.
Someone's just sorry.
Battle Knight says check out Battle Brothers on Steam. It's fantastic, reminiscent of Mordium. Sorry, can't spell. Okay.
Mordheim, I think he's saying.
No, he's not spelt it that way, but I don't know. What's Mordheim? Is that good?
Mordheim, yeah. Fantasy Necromunda, basically.
Okay.
You probably like Necromunda if you like that sort of thing. Strategy. Oh my God, the flash on this is not good.
It's like,
what have you done?
I don't know. I'm about to put the transfer. I just worked out that because I've been dreading painting this elephant, but most of it's transfer. The actual elephant body, most of it's going to be transfers, and the thing on its back. Look, because I'm doing all the. There we go. It's all sides of the elephant. So I painted the elephant and the men. I was just sitting there going, "What do I need to do now?" I was about to start. And, oh no, hang on. That's got the transfer on it.
Elephants are the easiest thing to paint. They're so easy.
Yeah, no. I'll just kind of
milking it. It's good. I'll weave in a bit. Cheap.
It's whinging. It's just whinging.
Alright, I don't like these Victrix already.
I'd took about 90 seconds to come to that conclusion.
Oh, don't make me put one of these together.
Please, go on, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Are they really that bad?
Oh, they're not nice. This plastic doesn't feel like plastic. It feels soft. It feels weird. That flash is horrendous. Don't get me wrong. I think these are gonna look lovely, but you can see why they're cheaper. Like You get more.
They're a lot better. They're a lot better now. Those are some of the first kits they did.
Fuck me.
I'm having the same sort of problem with these bloody. Have you done these, Martin? The French artillery. 18,
Yes.
12, 18,
Yeah.
15.
Yeah, they're quite fiddly.
I'm not going to lie, mate. The codes don't match up to the pieces, do they?
No, I had that problem with some of my Carthaginians as well. The numbers didn't quite match.
I'm looking for SC1. There is no SC1. There's no SC2 or 4, 3 or 4. It's like, but it says that fits whatever body it is. Like, for goodness sake.
It just match what it looks like. Shiver me timbers. I dropped a bit of plastic.
Yeah, I just lost my glue lid somewhere under my table, which is not good. Oh well. Yeah, why do they make models so flipping? Why do they do that with models? I don't understand that. So here's a discussion point. So plastic figures are great. They're really simple to use usually. But then you get those sort of kits that Ken's going to kill himself over in a minute, that are just so damn complicated. Now, why do you have to mould hands separate from, whereas you get other kits like some of the Warlord ones, those French in great cuts. I mean, it's literally the body, you stick the head on and you stick the backpack on, done. I mean, so why do they have to make it so difficult?
You can fit more on the sprue, can't you? It's more customizable, isn't it? It's kit bash's heaven, this, isn't it, really?
Yeah, but those Victrix ones are actually kind of quite set in a couple of places because you've got guys that are kneeling and ones that are running. It's not an awful lot. No,
not really changed an awful lot. It's
yeah, it was the Victrix drummer is what nearly finished me off, I think.
I don't know. To me, I want a model that's maybe because that's why I like metals so much. Is you just want a model just to be easy to put together and it's there to paint.
Well, I'm not joking. I've been looking at the Perry's cannons, and having a look at them, and also the Grand Battery for Warlord.
How much is that now on Warlord?
61.
Yeah, I think I got it. I think I think it was a Christmas deal when I got mine. And it was reduced to 40. But it's a pretty good deal, to be fair. And you've seen those cannons. There's nothing wrong with them. They're
nice.
They're just all Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
Oh, Phil's here from Wargamers Anonymous. Hey, dude.
Hello, Phil. You alright?
I hope you're.
We should be talking to him because he was trying to cheat on the vote. Did you see?
Oh, yeah, but the thing is that I've painted those miniatures, and so everyone that was trying to cheat and paint them, I was kind of wanting it to happen. So then they had the joy of trying to do it, of sticking those samurai together.
Yeah, pass on that shit.
I was quite looking forward to doing them, and then I saw his video about that, and I thought, no, maybe I'll just leave that for a bit. I'll wait until all the fuss has died down, then I'll sell them on eBay.
That's precisely what I'm going to have to do with these Victrix. I'm going to literally have to. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to put all 60 together in one week because I'm going to cry.
Have you got the right bits out yet?
What do you mean the right bits?
Well, they all go specifically. It's what Don was just saying. The Victrix, they just say S8 goes with C2, for example.
No, I'm just on the basic stuff like the backpack and the leg at the minute.
The leg is having a leg is important. Yeah. Look how upset he looks.
These were not worth £8.
You can just go on and buy them ready made up. That's what I do.
That backpack does not.
On the list.
Nah, fuck it. It's going in the box.
Is he giving up?
Oh, he's given up already. Just like that already.
Is he giving up?
Just like that. He's given up.
Well,
No.
the problem is I haven't got a thing to say A5 goes with what.
It don't help. It doesn't help. Trust me.
Well, I think it might slightly.
Oh dear, Martin, we can't see you, mate.
It's probably a good thing. Hang on. There we go. You see me now?
No, he's back.
There we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what a... Right, so... Okay. No, okay,
You
I'll
should
give
just do a
up.
whole video. Of
I can't anyway, I'm
putting
doing
together
French...
videos.
No, I've got an excuse, I'm doing French this month, so... They can go. Back to my good old Imperial.
I gotta say, you know what? I was gonna aim to finish my early war French by the end of October.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm changing my plans because my local sort of Facebook bolt action group is doing an armies on parade, like a platoon army challenge thing. We used to have a monthly painting competition. They've changed it to be for the rest of the year, 3-month one where you present an entire army on a display base. So I'm going to use my winter Germans and do some completely insane movement bases for them, and then put them on a big Stalingrad board.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Awesome, Steve.
Do you want some snow? I know a guy.
Special.
I know a guy.
He knows a guy. It's all fine. He knows a guy.
I just thought, I'm really enjoying repainting these Germans at the moment, so I don't want to lose momentum with them. But the other night, I was like, I could put them, not like the movement trays I made for those infamy British that I did a few months back. What I want to do is individual movement trays with like bits of broken wall and window and craters, and then they will then be all put on one big sort of board. I can see it in my head now. The basing opportunities are endless.
Oh, I want to see that, Steve. I want to see that.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to it.
I so want to get.
That's why I'm really looking forward to these. I'm really looking forward to doing these Blitzkrieg Germans for Stalingrad, sort of the early months. They're going to be put. The basing I did for my SAS on corkboard. I'm going to base them like that, but with bricks, and it's going to be completely over the top, and I can't wait to start it.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Brendan and Libby from New Zealand who dropped in to say hello. Hello.
Hello.
Right, so we got America, Australia, New Zealand, UK, France.
We're worldwide, lads. I've only just realised.
Our notoriety is expanding week by week.
What's going on? What is going on? It's lovely to have you all with us anyway. Oh, these are nicer. This is nicer. French. That's how it should be.
It's a dirty word, isn't it, Dom?
It's just
Much nicer.
Mind you, I've discovered you can do a whole French army without actually doing any French. It's fantastic. That's what I'm working on now. I've got my list here. I've got Baden to do next. Then I'm going to do some Hanoverians in the French side, some Swiss, got some Dutch, Polish.
What models are you going to use for the Hanoverians, Dom?
Well, actually, that's become a bit of an interesting point. So the very helpful group of historical war gamers that you don't want to post any of your videos to on Facebook, I went on there and asked them a question about it. They're brilliant at asking if you want to ask questions about what you need and what the uniforms were, although you get a hell of a lot of answers on it. But so long and short bits, in the division I'm trying to do, there's a regiment called the 128th French Hassanic Line Infantry Regiment, and they're actually Hanoverians,
right,
from German states around that area of Hanover. And so the only reference I can find for uniforms for them, they're wearing a really interesting, like a Prussian Landwehr uniform, but in green.
What, like the smock coat kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly, that kind of smock coat. But it's a sort of really dark green, and I thought that's kind of cool. But all the references are from 1813 and 1814 when they changed sides. They were then fighting for the Allies. So I thought, well, they're not going to have the same uniform, are they? And sure enough, they have bloody French uniform earlier. So I'm going to have to paint them French.
Would I?
Yeah. No, they're not actually French.
Were they? That's quite interesting. Were they conscripts or were they volunteers? I mean,
so, yeah, they were. They were. From what
Confederacy
I
of the
can
Rhine, were
gather,
they, Tom?
they were part of the Confederacy of the Rhine, and they were a
Yeah.
formation. Well, no, they weren't. They sort of were, and certain sort of weren't, because that's why they were sort of pushed into a French regiment, inverted commas French regiment. So they were basically the city guards and the city troops for the city-state of Hanover, and the associated region around that. So basically, when Napoleon took over the region, he said, "You're now French. You're now in the French army," and he put them in a unit amongst a whole load, because there was about 5 or 6 regiments that were in the French regular army, but were not French. They were different nationalities, and this was one of them. And then after his defeat at Leipzig, well, in fact, they must have transferred before Leipzig, because it was 1813 they transferred over. So probably at the end of the Russian campaign, I guess, they changed sides, and what was left of them formed this land-weary type formation that subsequently became part of the Prussian army. So it was kind of interesting. I'm fascinated by all these different weirdo empires in the.
Do you know what, that documentary that Steve recommended, the multiple parts for the Napoleonics, that really helped. That did.
Oh God,
really.
Yeah.
That massively helped. That did. I was proper enjoyed it as well, which was really nice the way it was set up. It was really interesting. You know, and it just made, when I watch other things, I understood it a lot more. Just made everything a bit easier. Just slotted things into place.
I like the production was very much. It just told you what you needed to know. There was no like kind of fanning around for 10 or 15 minutes on one particular thing. The backgrounds of the battles were explained. The background graphics were tremendous in showing the ebb and flow of how the battles went. It was just an all round one of the best documentary series I've watched. Well, ever really enjoyed every single minute of it.
Yeah,
it's funny. I mean, I know quite a bit about the period, and I watched it. I watched the one on the 1812 campaign, which is what got me really excited about this project. And I still was learning stuff all the way through it. It was so interesting, and yet it's only like, what was it, about a 30-minute video, 40-minute video, something like that. It's not very long, and it's just like, wow,
packed with
really,
information,
really
though, isn't it?
Yeah, and as you say, presented really, really well. That's the sort of thing that gets kids interested in history to me. Actually, probably.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. No, it's not. No, but I'll tell you what was really. I'll tell you what. I'm listening to Bernard Cornwell's Waterloo at the minute. I've only got about 2 hours left on it, and that was because of British Legion. Git. One of his videos I was watching. He said, I'm getting into my Napoleonics again. It's one of his older videos, and he goes, "I'm reading this book," and I just saw it. He lifted it up and he just went, just big writing, Bernard Cornwell, and then Waterloo. I was like,
done.
I was like,
yes.
a bit heathen here, but I actually thought that was one of the weaker Sharp books myself.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not sharp. It's not sharp.
It's
I'm
a
talking about the
factual book.
Oh, the historical one. Oh, that one. Yeah, that's good. That's a good book.
Yeah. I've got a couple of hours left on the audio.
The Sharp Waterloo, I didn't think was very good at all. That was what I was talking about.
Oh no. I've not started those yet, and don't plan to until I do my British. So
I was on a History Hits TV podcast the other day. No, not podcast, Zoom call thing, because I'm a subscriber to it, and they've been running these historical Zoom calls with various historians, and some of them being quite interesting, some of them being pretty dull. But they had Bernard Cornwell on the other night. It's only half an hour long or something, and he was talking about what he's doing and his inspiration and what have you. And he's actually working on a new Sharp book at the moment, which apparently is going to be set just after Waterloo.
Is it called Sharp's Pension?
Probably. But he did say they did
Sharp's
say
STD.
I mean, what's coming next? And I'm carrying on regardless. Said, probably Is there probably a medieval one next? So
Oh yes, oh yes. Give me more 100 Years War. Give me more. Has he done any books from War of the Roses, mine?
No, he hasn't. But there's quite a few authors now who've got that. So I don't think he. I think that's probably been done a bit now. He always seems to go for things. He writes novels in eras that haven't really been looked at, and he goes and does something else, doesn't he? And then everyone else follows. So there's already Con Eagledon and Toby Clements have already done some wicked series of books on the Wars of the Roses. I don't really see what he'd be able to add to it, unless he finds like another ancestor of his Uhtred curse, and he sort of just runs around Northumbria in that period.
Yeah.
Causing havoc.
The last one of those is coming out this week, actually. The last book in the series for Uhtred. If you're into that, I quite like that series. I have to say, really enjoy it. But I'm a bit of a Bernard Cornwall fanboy. I really like it.
Yeah, same. Who isn't? It's awesomeness.
Can I just say that that post I put on Facebook last week about me eating paint, yeah, that was a mistake. An entire brush of Vallejo dark rubber, straight in the mouth. Not even just around, straight in the mouth, full of paint. And then 3 hours later, 3 hours later, I ate washing up liquid.
Fucking hell, Steve. Not had the best of weeks, have you, mate?
No.
Is that why you felt so rubbish? Is that why you felt so ill?
I don't know. I don't know what that was. That floored me over the weekend. Though. Just wasn't very well. But the day after eating paint and eating washing up liquid, the very next day, I managed to sit on my glasses as well and break them. So I was just having a bit of a strange week last week.
Sounds like a nightmare.
But it's not stopped me from licking my brush, though.
No, neither shall it.
You need to do that. I thought thought that was just another continuation of the wind-up thing you were doing on that, but then I realised it was true. It's like made me laugh.
No, I actually did it. I had to go and properly swill my mouth out. It was absolutely disgusting.
What are people saying in here? Oh God.
Yeah, how's your chat's going?
It's going. I'm concentrating on these transfers. Phil for plastic crack. Eh?
Excuse me.
Oh my God, Victrix, my dear sir, you have got some mould lines, haven't you? Wow.
I think the later Victrix are really, really nice. I think some of the early ones are a little bit wobbly. But now
the Grenadiers. I've got the Grenadiers, but my goodness me, there are some mould lines.
I do like the faces on those. I said before, those Victrix Lancers I've done, they're just such lovely models. Even an average painter like me gets some beautiful paint out. Can get a really good job out of them. I think. Really pleased with them.
What's this?
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing a.
I'm just getting on about.
Sorry, no, I was just the chat. I was just catching on chat. They're saying. I was trying to work out what they're saying. They're saying Phil for plastic crack. I think they're on about Wargamers Anonymous about getting him on. I was trying to work out what they were saying.
Right. Yeah, well, we said anyone can join. Email. What was it? The Plastic Crack Podcast at gmail.com. There you go.
They're saying.
I remembered.
You remembered it.
And they're saying my mic is really loud. I think that's because when I bend down, I go nearer my mic because it's just on this little bit of cable. So, sorry. I'll try not to.
The guy that sold me the 6mm army. This is how weird it is. guy, he just literally messaged me literally now. He just said, "Hi Ken, I've just discovered you got a YouTube channel, and I've just watched you open my box." I said, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I completely forgot about him." That's interesting. Hopefully he subscribes. That'd be nice.
Oops.
Dear. Time is it anyway? Oh Jesus, 20 to 10 already. Cracking on tonight, innit? You got anything else you guys want to talk about, or?
I've got a general inquiry from you guys about black powder when you're if there aren't any other questions come in. So
Yeah.
Did Miller send anything in or anything?
No, he sent an apology because he hadn't thought of anything.
Oh, bloody hell, hopeless. So, all right, well, I'll ask my question then, and then maybe spur other people into it. So, we played a black powder game last week, Jonathan and I, and we haven't played it for ages, so we got rules wrong and everything else. But we were playing down at the new club venue, which is quite small, and because of social distancing, there was only the two of us playing on a 6 foot by 4 foot table, which isn't really big enough, I don't think. I know you play on a 6 by 4, don't you, Martin?
Yeah.
But I just found it. I mean, we saw if you saw the game, we only had like two brigades side plus a cavalry brigade, and it completely filled the table. I mean, to the point there was nowhere else, and then we were only using 24-man battalions and stuff.
Yeah.
To the point there was no way you could do any movement around it, and we halved the distances. Well, in fact, we overhalved.
You overhalved them, yeah.
We overhalved it, but anyway, whatever. We overhalved the distance just to sort of try and allow a little bit of movement and what have you. But of course, in the end, it just became two long lines of troops firing each other across the table. And so this week we're playing, and we're talking about halving or reducing the battalions down to 16, still doing half, actually properly half, doing 16-man. So instead of 24, do 16 figures, if you see what I mean. And then 12 if they're small and what have you, and do it that way, just to see whether that would actually make it a little bit more, give it a bit more mobility. But when you played it, you seemed to get a lot more to and froing.
But I don't halve, I don't halve. I use 2/3 because the thing is, you're so unlike. Sorry, I mean the way I thought about it, because we did half it once, and I've done it in the other games where we reduced troops movement to 6 inches. But so much of black powder, I think, is command and control, that if once you do that, you really limit how far they can get across the battlefield and hold, and then you do get them sort of stacking up behind each other, or in line. So that's when I think against Haley for the first 2 battle reports, I halved it. And then from the one where we played the battle on the bridge, we went for 9 inches, and that actually allows you because you'll be able to get those units ahead. So in the game against Ken, you actually get the spread of units quite well. We had the gun line in the middle, but we were both contesting an objective, so it was kind of just a race to see who. It was a war of attrition on that one. But I found that I've played it both ways, but I found that keeping the gun ranges the same. So lowering movement, but actually keeping the gun ranges at 18 inches for a musket, 12 for a carbine, actually works quite well. Because I don't know, I can't really explain it, but because I've tried lots of different ways.
You haven't got to get up in each other's face to be able to shoot each other.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking about it from sort of like some other.
It's not going to take 20 turns to get to each other and shoot each other. 2 turns, you're at each other shooting.
It didn't take us long to get.
No,
it did on one flank because neither of us wanted to come forward. Neither of us were able to move forward. We kept failing commands. But if you look at it, that game, I think I did 3 moves with my first command right through the middle. He did 2 or 3 moves with his first command, and we were pretty much in musket range on turn 2.
Yeah.
So that didn't slow it, but from there, and it just sort of stopped, and it just became bang, bang, bang the whole time through, and. The only place where we actually had any chance of any movement, both of us kept failing commands, so it was pretty pointless. But it was just, I mean, it looked spectacular and it looked lovely to have all these figures out on the table, but it just felt like it was just like, line them all up, nothing's going to happen.
maybe try maybe try 2/3. See if that works better for you, because it would just allow your troops to just, I don't know, because it's all relative, isn't it? Ultimately, but I found that we don't really have that unless it's the type of, I don't know, the type of game you play. If you're both going for the same objective, then you're naturally going to form a gun line, aren't you? I suppose, in front of it and try and force each other off of it.
Warfare, isn't it? It's Napoleonic warfare. That's what it's like, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, Napoleonic warfare was, people exploiting the odd gap, putting cavalry through holes. If there was an opportunity to get around on the flank of somebody, they did. And I don't know, maybe it was just the scenario. I mean, we had 3 objectives, and they were spread out across the table, and you had to control the majority of them to win the game.
Yeah.
And which is a fairly simple scenario, and it was just really to give us a taste of the game again, because we haven't played it for so long. But it just, I don't know. Yeah, when I looked at it, when we set it all up and we played a couple of turns, it just seemed to be a big, snarl fest of firing, fairly inconclusive firing at that. Because of course, when you get into that kind of firing, especially with a bit of cover like there was, you're hitting on 5 or 6s, and then of course, a bit of lucky shooting and someone gets disordered means, and then you're firing at 6 next time round, and it just all became a bit static from.
No, I know this. Ooh. Come on.
Bigger.
Quite a lot larger, in terms of the surface area they covered. But it just, I don't know. I liked the game, and it was great fun. It was nice to get the figures back out. It looked great, and it was an okay game. We didn't, I lost, but that's fine. But I just was trying to work out, because I know when you did it, and the game Ken and you had, it was you looked like a 6x4 table still, so you shouldn't have any more.
No,
it
was 7.5 by 4 R1, but the other ones against Haley are all 6x4. But then I don't really know. I say I try. I keep the weapon range is the same. Do 2/3 movement.
Yeah.
Did you? I can't remember at the start of the game. Did you march on, or did you deploy on the board?
Yeah, we marched on.
Yeah, because that can sometimes.
We deployed, didn't we?
Yeah, well, we deployed in our game, and then I guess that because when I deploy on the board, it's I usually find that obviously you'll get into combat a lot quicker, because you haven't got to worry about men not making it onto the board. But I don't really. I don't know. It's quite a hard one. I think maybe it's just one of those ones where it just ended up that way. I really enjoyed it when I watched the game. It was really nice to watch another Black Powder game.
I enjoyed playing it. Don't get me wrong, and it was just we were talking about it afterwards, and we talked about it subsequently, and we sort of were saying, well, I think reducing the speed kind of helped, or did it? And then I was looking back when I was editing the video and thinking, well, I don't know, did it help it or not? If we're going to help the units, or at least reduce the size of the units, because
I have found
then would that
that I found that between the games we played where we've halved it, and the games we've done where we've done 2/3, I've enjoyed and felt that the ones where we've done 2/3 movement have worked and flowed better for a smaller table and a smaller amount of troops. That's sort of the way I've found it. Right. But I've also tried to really vary up the type of scenarios we're doing. I've got a really good one for the next one, but I'm having to build some stuff for it. I need some scenery built before I can do it. But it's a hard one, isn't it? I mean, I completely see. Yeah.
What do you like as a game, isn't it? I mean, some people just love that sort of game where you just roll up and fire guns, and shoot at each other and what have you. But I kind of like a bit of mobility in my games, and a bit of opportunity to flank somebody, or just do a little bit of. And when it wasn't even a particularly big force we were playing with, and there was nothing, you couldn't do anything, because by the time you laid it all out, it filled, especially in line, everything was everything was 9, so it just filled every bit of space.
I'd say maybe if you wanted to try 2/3, but I'd really recommend considering keeping the weapon ranges as they are. If you do that, because it just not if you halve it, but if you do 2/3, because you're near enough there anyway. Keeping those weapon ranges, so your troops will move 9, and your muskets will have a range of 18. So effectively, because that was that's why I asked that question on that Facebook group, which I slightly regretted. Did you see that it got closed, that thing? The admins closed it down.
I did.
Yeah. You did your mic drop and then they closed it. And but I'd never heard that. I just, for some reason, in your game, I watched another battle report and saw 2 or 3 comments, and I'd never seen that optional rule before because I haven't. It's not been in any of the supplements that I've got. And I sat there and I started going through my rulebook, going, "Have I missed this entirely? Have I missed this?" And I quite like it. It's quite interesting. I think that might have had a serious effect on quite a few of the games. Certainly, the game me and Ken played, that had a big effect. So
it's just we always found that if things were flying across the table 3 moves and then they fired,
especially with first fire, especially if you got first fire,
you could suddenly find you've lost half your army in the first go if you were unlucky or your opponent was lucky, and so that's why we always did it, and that kind of works well. So I think in that game we were doing the one last week. We were doing 1 turn you could only fire, which I think is the rule in the ACW supplement.
Yeah.
But I think it might even be in the Napoleon one. But anyway, I don't know. But that's what we started to play. But generally, down the club, we always play no more than 2. If you do 2 moves, you can fire. If you try and do 3, you can't.
Yeah.
And that just seems to balance out. But I think house rules are I don't know what you feel about house rules generally, but I kind of like the odd little house rule. But
we do. Yeah. Yeah, we use the form square rule from the Clash of Eagles book because I prefer it to the form square rule in the main rule book because I think it's too easy to form square. Even though they were trained to do it, but in Clash of Eagles, because in the main rule book it's you roll an order test, a double 1 you form a disordered square, anything else you form a square, and a double 6 you don't, and that's it. Which I think is just a little bit too easy. So in the Clash of Eagles book, you basically just do an order test. So if you've got a crap commander, you aren't going to form it, and it just because otherwise we were finding that cavalry don't really do anything. And I know that's the role in Napoleonic cavalry isn't necessarily to go charging in and smashing through units, but if I spent all this time painting up the bloody things, I want them to do something.
It is a game after all, isn't it? And you want to enjoy the models.
Exactly.
Here's a question for you guys. Martin, you've done these. What the hell on the back of these grenadiers' heads? Why is there a spike that looks like a horn?
Hey? Oh, that little tufty thing. Yeah, it's like it's a lace thing at the bottom of the bearskin that kind of holds it all together.
Oh, okay. So I don't chop it off.
Don't chop it off. It's meant to be there.
Just nearly stabbed me in the hand twice.
Dom, speaking of house rules, I think I may have mentioned this one before. But it's something we're thinking of doing for bolt action, and it's introducing the patrol phase from Chain of Command.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that would work?
So good. Hell yeah.
Because I absolutely love that part of Chain of Command where you've got the different jump off points. I think it does, rather than just having a static that's your side and that's my side. Yeah, your deployment points are scattered. I think it will just bring an extra, I don't know, an extra dimension to it rather than just everyone lines up on their side of the table and marches into the center of the table. I just think it's something when we start playing games eventually. That's something we want to do. Games of bolt action, experiment with the deployment using Chain of Command.
Okay,
I think that'd be kind of cool. I think that'd be interesting. I mean, it would probably mean you couldn't do any outflanks or anything like that.
Yeah, I think we wouldn't be able to do that. But I just like the idea that the jump off points being where the scouts have got forward, where they've sort of reconned a safe route to the combat zone, rather than just having a massive big table edge. I just think it'd give it that extra dimension.
Yeah, I might house rule it. Yeah, I was going to house rule that you wouldn't put vehicles included in that.
No.
So that'd be too OP.
Have you ever done hidden deployment where you put a screen or something in between you both, and then you deploy? Like there's a snowstorm or fog, or you go to positions in the night and then you reveal it to find out where you both are.
Yep.
Many years ago when I played Space Marine, so epic Space Marine back in the early 90s. We used to do that. We used to do screen deployment. That was always interesting when the screen was removed. So what you'd find is I'd always used my main tactic, and they never really sussed me out. It was always the refused flank. So they'd spread out across the entire table, and I'd concentrate on kind of a third or a half of the table and do all my deployment there, which would render most of the stuff that they deployed on one half of the table useless for a couple of turns.
That's cool.
I think for some games that works really. That whole hidden deployment works really well.
Yeah.
I think for something like Bolt Action, though, I'm not sure it would.
No, it's a bit more. Yeah.
No. It's more, it's a bit more matching what your opponent's doing, isn't it? Always put a flamethrower over there. I'm going to get my sniper on. So where do I put my sniper to best effect, or what have you? But I think some games that's a really good way of doing it. I'm trying to think of the games I used to do that, but yeah, quite a few in the past. But
Miller's just talked about using scatter dice to do like paratrooper landings and see where they all end up, and then just play with it wherever they land.
I can't remember. Was it? I think it was rapid fire. I think that used to have a system where you'd write your commands, the paradrop commands, on little pieces of paper, and then you were supposed to stand on a chair or something above the table and then drop them, and where they landed.
That's quite cool.
Fly all over. And it was kind of
exactly
silly.
That's how drop pods worked in Space Marines. So you'd have you'd put an entire tactical company or a Terminator company in drop pods. But you'd literally release the paper over the battlefield, and that was where they landed.
I like that.
I love it. Steve's talking about 6 mil. Come on, Steve. Come to the 6 mil family.
To be fair, I've said this. While I love Blood Bowl, it's my favourite Games Workshop game. If they did a re-release, to the letter re-release of Space Marine from about 1993 onwards, I would buy it. I would so buy it. I really would. I absolutely love that game.
I've got it in the loft, Steve. I was all painted as well. I've done it. I've painted 2 armies for it, an Eldar and 2 Space Marine armies, 1 Iron Warriors and 1 Imperial Fists.
See, I used to run a Crimson Fists Space Marine army, and it was huge.
Son of Dawn.
Yeah.
What?
It was just a good game, and it was simple to play. It wasn't until they started adding or the expansions that the power creep came in, and then we lost interest, and we started playing more second ed 40k from 93 onwards.
I was 2, so not really me. That feels nice. I built 3
Russian Quillers in the house. Hiya, mate. Haven't seen you come on before. Welcome. Good to see you.
I built 3 guards. Oh.
3 guards.
How are you getting on with that British guy? Have you fully given up?
Yeah, he's gone back in the box. He's in the box, mate. I'm afraid. He's in the box.
Poor guy.
He's there. He'll come out again. Don't worry. When it's British time, but at the minute it's time for the guard, because I want to do both of these. I want to do all 60. Paint them up. Well, 48. I'm not gonna. I could paint all 60 and then make them big battalions. Can I?
Yeah. Just.
Yeah,
So, War Games Anonymous is asking thoughts on World War II in 20 mil. I don't know what you mean by that exactly, mate. Is that a good scale? Do you mean? Yeah.
never,
If it is,
never
then
done
yes.
it. I've never done it in
It's
20
good
mil.
scale.
No, I haven't.
It's always
I
28.
have. I've got an Italian army in 20 mil. I've got a British, German. Yeah, a few in. Used to play rapid.
I can honestly say, it's a scale I've never painted. I've painted 6, I've painted 10, 15, and 28. I've never painted 20 mil figures.
I find it's a really good compromise because you've got almost the detail of a 28 mil.
But the size of a 15.
And it's sort of the same price of a 15. And it kind of works, I think. And also, like we're talking about with the Napoleonics on a big game table or what have you, it kind of works reasonably well at 20 mil, I found. But then I never did 15, and 15 probably is even better. I don't know.
Well, that's what we're going to be playing, Chain of Command in 15 mil.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Dom, do you want to... Go on.
Sorry.
I was going to say, did you want to try Black Powder in 15 mil at ACW on Friday?
Yeah.
If I come up. Because then you've got the size then, you could do a 6x4, but then you've got the... you'd have the 15 mil size, won't you? And we'll keep the same as what Martin said, 9-inch movement and 18-inch shooting. See what it's like. Give it a go, couldn't we?
For 15 mil, you make it centimeters, I think.
Yeah.
Rather than
is it centimeters?
Just keep the same. So 12 instead of a 12-inch move, do a 12 centimeter move.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That works really well with 15 mil. That's what I find.
All right.
We do
a
few. I've done a few ACW in 50 mil, and it does work pretty good.
Give it a go, but gentlemen, 10 o'clock.
Ah.
Oh my god!
It is time. Has anyone got anything crucial they want to say that can't wait till next week?
No.
No.
Don't eat dark rubber Vallejo paint. It's gross.
Don't eat paint. Don't get the Vallejo. Don't go the Victrix British Infantry for Ken.
Yeah.
And keep calm and paint more French.
Martin, he's got the kind of elephant.
I've got on quite well. Yeah, I've got on quite well. We'll find out.
So that's it for this week, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at the same time next week. And bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.